Namaste from Anadi Foundation. We are looking at the Yogasutra of Patanjali. This is Sutra 4. Vrittis arupyamittaratra. Vrittis arupyamittaratra. In the previous sutras, we had been looking at the definition of yoga as the cessation of the Vrittis. And we also looked at how the drashta is established in one's own nature in the absence of those Vrittis. But what happens in the presence of Vrittis? Patanjali Maharishi says that we get identified with those Vrittis. We get lost in those Vrittis. That moves us very far away from our true nature. Imagine that you're watching a very engrossing movie, and after a few minutes of watching, or say 30 minutes of watching, you get so engrossed in the movie that you forget your surroundings. In fact, at that moment, even the I does not exist, because you're fully identified with what is going on the screen. And visualize the scenario where you are taking up a lot of tasks in your professional place, and you're leading a team, and you're playing a very significant role in the organization. And then you come back home. It's very difficult for you to shed that role and take on the role of a person or a family person. So it so happens that you get identified with your professional role so much that it's very difficult for you to look at your personal role, your interpersonal relationship with your family. Like once a professor, always a professor. That's what they say. So you carry that tag wherever you go because you're so identified with that role. So similarly, Patanjali Maharishi says that we get identified with the Vrittis. When we get exposed to something for a sufficiently long period of time, we get identified with it. Some of these are useful for life because they help us to take on a specific identity, to perform a specific role. But some of them are pretty useless and can become an obstacle in our path of progress, because we get so strongly identified that it becomes very difficult to dissociate with that particular identity. And hence Maharishi Patanjali says that when we are not established in our true nature, we get engrossed or identified with the Vrittis. Vrittis arupyamittaratra. Vrittis arupyamittaratra. During other times, we get identified with the Vrittis.